This is Billy with the OutdoorsMissouri.com, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about epoxy coating or painted bullets. It's something that has been kind of a hot topic. Um, it's still early, so I'm having my coffee. But it's been kind of a hot topic. People I've been reading on forums, been pro and not so pro on the bullet coatings, and why in the world would you do it? There's already a perfected way, using certain alloys and lubrications. And for me, that's not the appeal to me at all, because the thing about it is take a Lyman number 2 alloy, which would take, I believe it's 5% antimony, 5% tin, and the rest being lead. Very good alloy. Shot a lot of it. Works well with tumble lubing, as well as the other way of kind of injecting the lube onto the lube grooves. Very works very well. The problem is when you live in a place where antimony and tin are not readily available, and about the cheapest I could find tin, pure tin, would be about $10 a pound. Now, after I factored in, what it would cost me to make lead, I could almost just buy lead bullets for about what it cost me to make lead bullets, which that's not efficient, at least not to me. So that's why I was kind of interested in coating bullets and see if it would save me any money. Using just pure lead and coating them, if that would work. And surprisingly enough, the first problem I ran into with using just pure lead was it pours really bad compared to an alloy. I'm not really going to get into how to cast lead bullets. There's a channel, Fortune Cookie 45 LC has a channel that is fantastic about how to make lead bullets. I'm not going to do that today. But I do want to kind of go over cast, this is a cast epoxy coated bullet. This is a jacketed bullet. So I want you to be able to, this one's kind of a first batch. It's real rough looking. The new ones are very smooth. And I'll show you those here in a little bit. I just haven't made any quite yet. I've been experimenting, and I wanted to go over the steps with you, so that way maybe somebody can improve it, or just tell me that I'm crazy. But so far, out of the ones that I've made, the barrel looks great. There's not any foul. It's just phenomenal. So, and I have a cheap hammer forged barrel that is really rough inside, and it fouls everything. So I've been pretty happy with what I've got. So the first thing you need to start with is a cast lead bullet, and it needs to be sized first. This is really important because you don't want to size them later. I figured that one out real quick, that sizing them after the fact is not going to work. Not because the coating's not good. It doesn't come off, but it's just kind of a pain to add that coating and then try to size them afterwards. So size them first and size them after, as well as after you coat them. So after I've run these through the sizer, the next thing that I want to do is get a little jar, and I pour my bullets that I made into a little jar. Okay, and the next thing you need is some acetone. I had to go grab it. I forgot to grab it for the video. So here's some acetone, and we're we're going to pour the acetone a little bit in here. And I'll tell you why here in just a second. Let me grab a tool. I'm not going to embarrass myself trying to open this without a tool. Alright. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. So I just pour a little bit of acetone. Not very much. Doesn't take a huge amount. And the reason we're doing this is we're trying to make the paint stick better. And I just kind of rattle them in there. But we want the paint to stick to the bullets better and get any oils from the sizing dye that might be on here. Any oils, you know, finger oil, not such a big deal. But like there's Alox and wax and all kinds of stuff in this, on the press and on the dyes and all that stuff. So just rattle that around for a little bit, and then I just dump off the excess. So I just pour it out. So that way it's, you know, pretty empty. And I'm just gonna dump it and let those dry. Okay. Now what I've done is I've taken some chicken wire and I've repurposed it, which is kind of funny. But so that way I had like a grid so it didn't stick to the table. And then what I'm using to coat the bullets is this stuff right here. And so that's what I'm using to coat them. While those dry, I'm going to go grab the ones out of the oven that I've just baked. So hold on just a second. So these just came fresh, hot out the oven. So we're gonna let those cool before they get another coat. So basically, I might just do a whole bunch of these like this and just let them out, set them out to dry. And then I have this board here. I don't know if you can tell what I've been doing, but I just grab the bullets and I set them on here like this. And my first batch I tried to tumble them in the paint, and that's why they came out looking rough. I don't know if I did something wrong or didn't use enough paint, used too much paint, what the deal is, but they came out pretty bad. They didn't coat very good. So I switched to, and they still work, but I switched to spraying them. And believe it or not, it doesn't use that much paint. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that different. And it gives it a better, smoother coat. And they look aesthetically pleasing. You know, I think, you know, if they look smooth, they're probably going to function smooth. I don't know. I don't claim to know very much. But so I just set them up like that and I give them a spray. But I really want to wait till they're all dry. And but this is what, this puppy's hot, but let's see if we can get it to focus. It's not focusing. But these are much smoother Nope, it's not going to do it for me. But these are much smoother than the ones that I did before. So now that acetone dries relatively quickly, so I'm just going to shake this thing up. And it says 250 degrees, but I bake them at 300 degrees for about 10 minutes before I do another coat. So I'm just going to spray them. I'll show you how I spray them. So first I just start off with a light coat. And you want to kind of really look at them and make sure you get the lube grooves, because otherwise that's the hardest part, getting them coated. And you have to go around all angles. Coffee down. But this can has done, with me experimenting, this can has done probably 500 bullets, something like that. And this can cost me like $7 at the parts store, the auto parts store. So that's pretty good, considering I'm using pure lead instead of an alloy, which cost me way more than $7 to make. Now, that may not be the case for you. If that's not the case for you, by all means, I would just make regular cast bullets. I wouldn't go through the trouble, because there's a couple of extra steps, you know. But because if I want to make, 10 pounds, let's say 10 pounds doesn't go very far. 50 pounds of alloy, after I get the lead for about, I don't know, maybe $1 a pound. And then, so that's $50. And then we've got antimony, which on 50 pounds I'd probably need a couple pounds of that, a couple pounds of antimony, which you can't buy just a couple pounds of antimony, so it's a 5-pound minimum. And so you end up buying a super hard alloy, which is I don't know, maybe 20, 30, $25 for a 5-pound bar of that. Too much trouble for me to get a hold of, and lead's really getting hard to come by too. So I just let these dry. Now it says 25-minute dry time, something like that. I've heard people say, "Oh, it's dry to touch," and then put them in the oven. What's been happening is they're dry to the touch, but then they stick together. Even though, they're dry, once they've been put in the oven, they stick together. And I don't like them sticking together. So these just came out of the oven, they're not sticking together. That really tells me that I've done a good job. And I don't know if that coating, let's try this. Nope, it's not going to do it. I'll take some stills maybe of it, but they're really nice. They're really evenly coated. I'm going to spray them again, and that's the first coat, and it's a really nice coat. So I'm just going to continue to maybe just do 2 coats and then call it good. I did 3 coats when I made these, and in an effort to get them to cover better. And the coverage, I mean, you can right in here, there's lead showing, but on the lube grooves and where the bearing surface is for the bullet in the barrel is covered really good. So that's all that really matters, the part that touches the barrel being coated the best. So guys, that's basically everything I know about epoxy coating of bullets. If you find out a better, easier way, Please share it with with me or with everybody. I'm trying to share it. I'm not trying to make any money here on selling bullets or anything like that. But I sure would like to. There's a guy that kind of released his secret formula, which is a formula I can't even get a hold of. I can't get a hold of the material to do it, so I had to come up with a different way. Um, this is what I use. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to try to answer them for you. Thanks a lot, guys.